Hello everyone, this is Rob, and I'm going to talk about oiling my Bernina, because there has been discussion in the Bernina group that I belong to that some people do it after every bobbin, and you don't need to do it that often. And here's the thing. This machine will tell you when to oil it based on the number of stitches that it has stitched. I don't know what that exact amount is, but it's somewhere around 100,000. But I had to set my machine up for embroidery. I have a 590, and since I'm changing everything, I thought I would show you what I do when I oil my machine. And I only clean my machine every 2 to 3 bobbins, maybe 4. It depends on what thread I'm using. If I'm using a polyester, it'd be more like 4. Or if I'm embroidering, it may be 4 or 5. But if I'm using cotton, it's more like 2, because cotton can be linty, even Orfil. So I wanted to show you because I have it pulled apart and because I had to change stitch plate. And what you do is you brush out here, and of course you open it up and you pop your bobbin out. But you also take the hook out, which you click this little thing here, and this pops down, and then this hook will pop out. And you clean in here really, really well. And you can see my machine hasn't been in for service for a year, and you can see my machine is pretty clean. And so the instructions tell you to add a couple of drops here in this little red dot. I was told by my dealer not to do that. Also, the instructions say that you put a drop here. And I was also told not to do that. And the reason is I am a quilter. And you can actually see a little bit of the shiny of the excess oil right there, because I oiled this not too long ago. But what you do is you put a drop in each one of these wicks, and if you can look in there, this will focus, right here in this slot, you see that wick sticking out, and there's one on the other side. This goes in there, and as it's spinning, that wick gives it a little lubrication for the spinning. So you put a drop in each one of those holes. And then when you put it back, here's the easy way to put it back. See that big gray dot? Turn that gray dot straight down like that. Now, take your hook and put it face down on the plastic thing with the sharp point pointing straight out to you, and then lift this up. And if it does not fit, and it's very hard to do this with one hand, turn your hand wheel and you hear it click into place, and your hook is in. It is in properly, and there's no issues. Like I said, it's harder to do it with one hand. And hold a phone. So, it's done. Now, what I do is I put a drop, let's see if we can get it in here, right here in the top of this hook, so that it goes around the hook and the metal part where they run. And here is the thing that I'm going to tell you. You can tell when this machine needs oil. It gets really loud. And I mean, it goes from a nice smooth to like you think it's breaking. And also the tone of it gets a higher pitch, like it squeaks like that. And the reason you don't want to over oil is the excess oil will go down here in the bottom, under here. And if you're not moving your machine around and shaking it, it settles there in a puddle. Well, your thread lint and your fabric lint will accumulate in that oil. And let me tell you, it can be a huge, huge mess for your tech to clean out. And I have seen a mess. I have made a mess. I actually spilt some oil in mine once and had to take it to get it cleaned out. And he was thankful that I went instead of just kept using it. So, that is what. And I use a Bernina oil pen for the dots. And I have this little thing. I have an oil can with a small tip on the top for my regular machine oil that I will drop down here for it. And if your thread cutter gets really, really loud, then add a drop in that little circle in the back, and that will oil your thread cutter. But that only has to be done like once or twice a year, and you'll know, because once you learn your machine, you will know. And a quick tip about cleaning it as well is I'm going to show you really quickly to clean the top. This piece right here, mine says 590, yours will say 570 or 770 or whatever. These slide off and open up. Now you can get in there with your brush and clean the lint and stuff out of the top. And again, you can see my machine, I keep it really clean. And like I said, I only clean every 2 to 3 bobbins. If I'm using a linty cotton thread, definitely every 2. If I'm using a good clean cotton thread, it may be every 3 still. And it just depends on what you're doing. But like I said, you will know, because your machine will change its tone drastically. And that is when it needs oil. And also, it should go in every year for service if you use it a lot. But these machines will also tell you when they need to go for service. They will remind you. It comes up and tells me to oil. And every 3 bobbins that I use seems to be close to whatever the system is set at, because about a day or 2 after I oil it, it comes up and tells me, don't forget to oil. And then after so many stitches, it comes up and it says something like, your dealer will be happy to discuss maintenance with you. It doesn't tell you that it has to go in for service. It tells you that they would be more than happy to discuss service options with you. It's a very polite machine, but it knows itself, it takes care of itself, and it will tell you when there is a problem. So don't over oil it, because it is a mess for your dealer to clean out. Trust me, I have seen it, because I have a really, really good relationship with my dealer. And enjoy your machine. These things are amazing. And I'm going to start making more videos on the Bernina. So everyone have a great day and talk to you later. Bye.